Hello everybody and welcome to the A-Level Virtual Open Day. My name is Sue Baker and I'm the Curriculum Manager for A-Levels here at Barnet and Southgate College. And I'm going to give you a presentation and tell you information about the course. I'm also going to ask if you could put your questions in the Q&A box as we're going through this presentation rather than interrupting. And when we get to the end of the presentation, I will go through those questions and answer them all for you in the order in which you place them. Okay, so I'm going to start now with a welcome. Here are our lovely students that you can see. There are Wood Street students who are doing their A-levels this year, and they've got lots of smiling faces there, and hopefully they will have on Monday when they return to their face-to-face learning. Okay then, so we are a strong, well-established A-level department, and we do have a really excellent reputation in the local area. Lots of schools without sixth forms send their students to us. We have strong links and know lots of teachers in those particular schools. Our teachers are really dedicated to ensure that you all achieve the best you can possibly achieve and ensure exam success. Importantly, we make sure that you're all on the right course, and that's really important that you're doing the right A-levels and you're on the right programme. Importantly, we really care about our students and support them throughout their educational journey. For more detailed information, our curriculum offer is available on the website, and there you can find lots of course content in terms of the subjects, what you study, the exam boards and the form of examination, or if there is any coursework associated with those subjects. So that's really for you to have a look through to ensure that you're choosing the best subjects for you. I'm going to talk briefly about facts and figures. In 2019, which was the last time we did public exams, we did have a 100% pass rate in numerous subjects and a very high percentage pass rate in all A-level subjects. Last year, in terms of the centre assessment grades, there was a 100% pass rate in all subjects. So students do very well at the college with us. We do offer a 2-year linear A-level programme, and students take 3 subjects and they have tutorial once a week with their course tutor. They participate in enrichment activities, and we do progress reviews throughout the year. We also have really specific A-level programmes. We have a sports academy with A-levels. And here students are members of a specific sports academy, and they have a bespoke timetable that fits with their training and match commitments. And tutors and teachers are very flexible in terms of the demands of students that have got extra sporting activities. These can include NFL, tennis, athletics, football, basketball, boxing, soccer, and we're looking into doing some more as well. And there you can see some of the logos of some of our partners that we work with. And so students are in the sports academies, but also with us on the A-level programme. We've been doing this for a number of years now, and we found that it works really, really well. And students really benefit from that bespoke timetable. Another very specific provision we have is the inclusive sixth form, and this is specialist provision for young people that are emotionally vulnerable and have mental health issues who can't really cope with conventional sixth form. It's really ideal for students who wish to engage in education whilst dealing with emotional issues such as anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and it may also be appropriate for students with other medical issues. This course offers a flexible and nurturing approach to learning, whilst the opportunity is given for students to study a wide range of A-levels. The application form for the inclusive sixth form is slightly different, but it is on the website as well. We also offer a Year 14 course, and this is for students who wish to improve their grade profile and progress to higher education. It's a highly structured full-time course, and students need to maintain a very focused approach to their studies. In terms of entry here, students need to have passed one full A-level already. They will do an intensive A-level with us and a grade growth subject. So if you want to improve on a subject, that's what you will do. Students can also complete an EPQ, which is the extended project qualification, which lots of universities really like students to do. So it's a really good qualification to have. In terms of teaching, learning and assessment, during lockdown, students have been accessing all of their classes via Teams, and online lessons have been taking place. So students follow their normal timetable, but rather than having face-to-face teaching, they participate via Microsoft Teams. Students that haven't had the equipment have been provided with laptops so that each learner can engage with their education fully. In usual times, lessons include group work, teacher-led discussions, teacher exposition, student presentations, role play, which lots of students enjoy, practical experiments, especially in science and psychology, and active research. Students are assessed regularly because we feel it's really important that students know where they are and what they need to do to improve. We do like to keep in contact with parents, and this is done via direct contact with personal tutors. It's also done in our parent induction. We also have parent evenings. At the moment, we're in the process of setting up a school cloud parents evening for our students at the moment. We also have intervention meetings, and that's often with me. And also we have written reports that can go home. Communication can be a little bit difficult sometimes because we have GDPR to contest with. However, we do like to initially have parent emails that we can engage with you. We have a departmental Twitter and Instagram, and there's lots of up-to-date information on there. There's also a parent handbook that you can access from the website. Just in terms of our progression, where do students go after they've completed A-levels with us? The vast majority, about 97.3%, go to university, so they progress to higher education. We do ensure that students are supported on that journey, and whilst they're applying to universities, they get lots of help from their personal tutor in writing their personal statements, and also subject teachers if it's very specific for subjects like law. This is to give you a flavour of where our students have progressed to. As you can see, it's a range of universities. We encourage our students to go to the university that's best for them, that has the best course for them, regardless of whether it may be Russell Group or not. We think it's best that the students actually go to the university or HE institution that is right for them. Enrichment, this is basically what we were doing in pre-lockdown times. I don't know when we'll be able to do these kinds of trips and visits again, but we do like to provide our students with a range of activities. We have mock elections where students engage with parliamentary candidates. We have a trip to Brighton University. We do a lot of HE trips and encourage students to participate in days that universities have put on for year 12 and year 13 students. We have also been doing enrichment in lockdown. Our students recently had 2 enrichment days where they focused on a range of activities, including media literacy, fake news, conspiracy theories from an organisation called Shout Out, which they all really enjoyed. We also encourage students to do competitions because we find that students get really excited by this, and often they provide opportunities for students to actually go outside of their curriculum and engage in bespoke or different kind of areas that link to what they might be wanting to do in the future. Students actively participate in the UK Maths Challenge, Chemistry Olympiad, Physics Olympiad. The English students have done writing competitions, and also the economics and business students have participated in business ventures. Competitions can be fun, and also students can include that on their personal statements when they are applying for university. Just an example of one of the trips we did fairly recently, that's with the famous psychologist Zimbardo, and students really enjoyed meeting him and listening to him talk about his research. We have students there that were on a physics trip. So in terms of where you are now, you're all in year 11, perhaps slightly nervous about coming to college, starting an A-level programme. That jump from GCSE is quite a big one. So what we've decided to do is try to really give you a head start, hence the title, Head Start Activities. So before you start your A-levels with us, what we'd like you all to do is to go through the Head Start activities that are on the website. And here are a range of different kinds of things for you to look at, to do, to investigate, to give you a head start, and also give you a heads up in terms of whether you think that the subjects that you've applied for are really the right ones for you. So if you do the Head Start activities, think, oh, that's really interesting, I really enjoyed that, then that's a really good green light to do that subject. If, however, you think, actually, that was a bit boring, I'm not sure that I like that, I'm not that interested, then do another Head Start activity for another subject, read up about another subject in the prospectus, so you've really got a clear understanding of where you are and what you want to do. I'm now going to do a few questions because these are kind of questions that have come up over the last couple of years, and rather than clogging up the chat box with lots of questions that are all the same, I'm going to answer some of them now. And if any of you have got a pen and paper and want to jot down some notes, please do. First of all, do I need to pay for anything? What you will need to do is you will have to provide your own stationery and textbooks. Also, for those of you that do science, you will need to buy a science lab coat. But apart from that, students are fully funded by the government funding organisation. Okay, if you go on trips and visits, you'll obviously have to pay tube fares and sometimes entrance fees if they have charged them. A lot of students, when they come to us, they say, do we have form time? Well, we don't call it form time, and you don't have to come in and register every morning. What you do is you have a tutorial with a personal tutor once a week. And that personal tutor guides you and supports you throughout your time with us. How many classes do I have a week? You have 3 classes a week. The first years you have 3 classes, which are 1.5 hours per class. The second years you have 5 hours a week, and again, 3 specific classes. Which campus will I be on? You're all here at Wood Street in High Barnet, and that is where the A-level course is delivered. How many students progress to university? It's normally between 97 and 98%. Often the 2%, the small group that don't actually progress, have made a positive decision that they don't want to and have done a higher apprenticeship or gone into employment. Are there parents' evenings? Yes, there are. And if students struggle with their subjects, can they get help? Yes. Your first port of call is your class teacher, and your class teacher that will then direct you to a workshop or a specific extra tutorial to support you with your studies. Just to say to you that my email is here at the bottom, which is sue.baker@barnetsouthgate.ac.uk. I've put that there so that if you have any questions that you want to ask and you don't feel you want to do it in the chat now, or you think about it later on today, please email me and I will get back to you. Okay. Thank you for listening to me. I am now going to be directed by my colleague to the Q&A box, and I will go through questions and answers verbally. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Okay, my first question is, I've applied for the A-level study package and got in. How and when do I choose my specific A-levels? Now, if you have already applied, you should have been sent a form, which is a HubSpot form to choose your subjects. If not, it's a good idea to email me. Also, don't worry, because you can finally choose your subjects when you enroll. So you won't be enrolling until the end of August, probably beginning of September. When you enroll, you will be able to choose your subjects then. But most of you should have been sent an email with a form that you fill out. Okay, the next question says, if you would like to do A-level biology, but at the end of year 11 get a grade 5 in English and a 6+ in maths, can you still do an A-level in biology or not? Yes, we would consider that you'd be able to do biology with those qualifications. Is there a uniform? No, there is no uniform at all. But what we do suggest is that you wear, respectful clothes and no t-shirts with slogans that may be seen as offensive or anything like that. The next question is, how many times a week do, sorry, that I'm on a different question now. So the A-level league tables place the college very, sorry, this keeps on jumping about. Okay, what are your entry requirements for A-levels? The entry requirements are quite different for different subjects. So the best thing to do is to look at the prospectus. Generally, we'd like you to have a range of 5 and 6s to do A-levels with us, but we look at your combination of A-levels. What happens if I'm doing A-levels as well as part of a sports team? I mean, with training times and lessons, your A-level timetable is worked out in advance with that sport academy. So if it's Barnet Southgate College Academy, James, he coordinates that, and I meet and we ensure that you have a timetable that fits. I've got another question here, which is, do you offer 4 A-levels? Yes, we do offer 4 A-levels, but you need to have very high scores in your GCSEs. I've applied for A-levels, but I've never got confirmation E-level, and I haven't heard anything. Yes, please submit a new application. I don't know what's happened there. Email me if you don't have a response within 24 hours. Are there any after-school clubs, mainly netball? There are lots of sporting activities and sports that you can do. Unfortunately, netball is not one of them. How do mocks play a part in our applications? They don't. We make our decision on the final grades that you achieve. If you get the right grades, if you get 5s and 6s in subjects that you want to do, that's fine. When do you think we will come into school? I think that you will be in hopefully in August, late August, early September. Have a tour. We can give you a tour. Hang on. We can give you a tour in late August, early September, we hope. I can't say for definite. What is the closing date to apply for A-level or other courses like childcare? We would advise that you apply as soon as possible, because the popular A-levels fill up really quickly. Okay, on that one. Have a tour, answered that. How do we know we have actually secured a place at the college? Okay, now what you should have done is you should have made an application to the college. You'll have then got a letter from me to say, welcome, thank you for applying. You then get another letter from the college to say that to choose your subjects. You then get a second letter from me to say that you've been offered a conditional place. And when you get your actual results, that's when you come and enroll. Another question is, do I have to apply for a course if I don't get the right grades to do A-levels? We can transfer you on interview, so that's fine. If you started year 12 and you do not like one of your subjects, can you change one of them? It's very difficult to do that. What we do say is we do a 6-week assessment, and it's really in the first 6 weeks that you should think about changing subjects, not any later. If it does transpire that later on that you're doing a subject that you really, really can't do, we will let you do 2 and an EPQ. How many people study A-level? We have about 350 students on the A-level programme. Okay, if any of you have applied and you haven't received any emails, please can you email me and I will let you, and I will make sure I follow up the application. You should check your junk mail as well, because it might be there. Somebody hasn't got predicted grades yet. Can I still apply? Yes, apply without predicted grades. It gives me a good idea of what subject students like to do, because I have to plan a timetable. So for me now, if you put in the application, it doesn't matter about your predicted grades. If you've got any HCP, we'll sort that out. You just do the application. All A-levels are over a 2-year period, unless you're in year 14, and year 14 is a 1-year course. I've got a question here. So what happens if we apply for certain A-levels, but when the time comes, we don't get the necessary grades? We will either change you to a different A-level programme with different subjects, or we can transfer you to one of the many other courses in the college. So you might want to do a UAL, University of the Arts London Media, Art and Design course, or a BTEC course in, say, Science, BTEC Business, IT, something like that. Okay. We have a parent from Uganda who's living here for some time now, with citizenship, but have my... Right, could the parent from Uganda email me, because I think that that's going to be quite a complex question, and I think that's better done via email. Okay. And I've got a question here, is an EPQ something that we could do alongside a 3 A-level in year 12? What is an example of an EPQ? Okay, so the EPQ is an extended project qualification. It counts as an AS, however, is marked at A-level standard, so you can get an A star in an EPQ. What it is you can do your own research, you can do a dissertation, an artifact, or a performance on a topic that you decide on. So basically, it's a research project that you do. You can start it in year 12, complete it in year 13, and it can be on any topic within reason, within an academic sphere. And we do suggest to link it to something that you're going to be doing at university. So we had a student one year that wanted to do engineering and his EPQ was on bridges. We've had students that have wanted to do psychology and have done EPQs on schizophrenia. We've had a student that wanted to do medicine and she did her EPQ on antibiotics. So it can be on a whole range. We've had students that have done a ballet performance, have made a chair. It can be very, very, very diverse in terms of what you'd like to do. My email is on this presentation. I'll just say it again. It's Sue, S-U-E, .Baker, B-A-K-E-R, at barnettsouthgate.ac.uk. Okay. Could you please say your email again? My email is on the presentation, and if you just Google A-levels at Barnet College, you'll see that there's parent information, there's course information, and my email's there as well. Okay. Do you offer conditional offers? Then you have places. In that case, are you offered an appointment to enroll on the basis of when you submitted your application? If we have too many applications for a particular course, you are quite correct, Louis. You're quite correct that it does. It is on a first come, first served basis. So for popular subjects like sociology, psychology, sometimes chemistry, biology, it's really good to put in your application as soon as possible. My next question is, when would we find out whether we've been accepted? When we will know once you get your GCSE grades, when the schools have allocated those or given you those, which is probably about the 12th of August, we'll know. And then we will invite you in for enrolment later on in August. We haven't got a specific date because the government only announced very recently when the results were going to be distributed. So do students get their own individual timetable? Yes, they do. What type of enrichment is there for film studies? We don't actually run film studies. A-level, we run media, and there will be trips and visits and workshop time for media students. Did you say you have 5 lessons a week on a 3 A-level? Okay, so just to reiterate, the timings of the lessons that you have in the first year, in A1, in year 12, you have 3 lessons a week, and those lessons are an hour and a half long. In the second year, you have 3 lessons as well, but one of the lessons is 2 hours. So you have 5 hours in total. Okay. Okay, so is it best to do A-levels like biology, psychology, sociology if I want to go into healthcare, or just do a healthcare course? That's quite an interesting question. I think it will depend on your academic ability. If you get fairly good, well, in terms of your grades, if you get kind of like 5, 6s and 7s, I would say that you're quite an academic student and to do A-levels. If you think that a vocational route is more comfortable for you, that's probably a better choice to make. What I will say is that if you do A-levels, you will have a greater choice of what you may want to do in the future if you decide that you don't want to do healthcare at all, but you want to be a, I don't know, work in the media business, then it's better to do A-levels because you can change your pathway. Okay, if you change address between now and September, you need to email the college and they will adjust your address on the system. Where can we? The Head Start activities are on the website. I have checked; they're definitely there. Just to confirm, does that mean that even if you have been given a conditional offer and get the required grades, you may not get a place in the course if it is popular and others enroll before you? It's very unlikely that that is the case, because we have got a range of teachers. So we have got, you know, multiple groups of A-level classes. So for example, we've got 4 and can move to 5 sets of psychology, the same with sociology. So it's very unlikely that students will not be able to do the subjects they wish to. That for subject, yes. At what time does your school start and end on average? School, you don't come in for registration in the morning. You come in for your first lesson. So your first timetabled lesson, whether it's 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1:30, you come in for that lesson. Okay, done that. If I want to be a teacher in the future, is it good to do A-levels or the childcare course and go for a teaching course later? Again, that's a similar answer that I gave to the student earlier. It's entirely up to you. If you can either go through the A-level route or the childcare route, I would base that on how well you do in your GCSEs, and think about what is the best course for you. Also, the only thing I will say, the advantage of the A-levels does have is if you want to go on to secondary education and do a subject such as maths, it's better to have done A-levels. Okay, what is the most popular subject chosen? It is actually sociology, and I'm very happy about that because I'm actually a sociology teacher as well as being head of A-levels. Do we choose our timetable or do you give us one? We actually give you a timetable, but what we can do is we can change it to fit in with if you have any kind of like work commitments or sporting commitments, but you need to say that right at the beginning. How much the course or free of charge? The course is free of charge if you are 16 to 19 and live in the UK. If we don't make necessary grades and we don't get to our chosen courses, do we still get a place in the college to do something else? Absolutely, yes. What is the maximum number of students in the class, especially for popular subjects? For popular subjects like sociology and psychology, we normally have about 18 in the class. For science, is slightly less because of health and safety restrictions. You don't have to pay any fees because it's funded by the government. Okay, the Head Start activities are on the website. So if you have the letters and confirmations, this still doesn't mean we cannot give you a place until we have seen your GCSE grades. Oh, thank you. Somebody said thank you very much. So thank you very much for listening as well. So do we have any other questions? Okay, I've got one question here, is when do we find out whether we've been accepted? That will be when you get your GCSE results. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your very kind comments that you've made here. That's really lovely. And it's very strange doing this because I'm used to being in the tutor hall with lots of faces, lots of questions and answers going ahead. And it's it's a bit different doing it this way, but thank you very much for your patience and for listening to me and thinking up some really good questions there. You kept me on my toes. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, and good luck. Keep working hard. You'll be back at school on Monday, and enjoy your learning. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.